This is how I went from being completely broke to running a multiple five-figure content agency within the time span of 1.5 years. And I'm from Nepal and I'm just 19 years old, although I look old. So this is basically how my story starts. There are these fat kids who are super insecure about how they look, who are, socially anxious. I was one of those kids. I was super fat since childhood, and I had these aunts that I used to meet in churches and home fellowships that Christians have, and every time they met me, they always used to give me fitness advice. They used to give me health advice, and that ruined my confidence. That ruined my boldness, and I was always like insecure about my body, insecure about my finances because I grew up super poor, and so I was kind of socially anxious. I was not this bold, confident kid. And and I grew up in a poor family. My dad used to work in construction, so we were four family members living in a single room, and the kitchen is in the same room, the beds are in the same room, and the room is small. So you can imagine how I grew up. So you can imagine the scenario. And my dad used to take construction sites and work in those sites as well. So he was kind of doing good, but the workload and the work pressure was so heavy that he reached a point where he started drinking alcohol, hanging out with alcoholics, and he at one point he kind of lost his mind. So we had to take him to mental hospital. I was around 10 years old at the time. So my mom had to take care of everything financially. She had to take care of herself, my sister, me. She had to make sure our education bills got paid, our we had food on our plate. So she also started working in construction, and she used to carry bricks, and I was around 10-year old at the time. My sister was in her mid teens. She's like 4 years older than me. So I was around 10, so she was around 14 years old, and my sister started tutoring at that age. And seeing my mom and my sister working this hard so that I could have food on my plate was, extremely, it built a sense of duty in my mind since a very early age. I used to see my mom carry bricks. I used to see my sister giving tuitions, trying her best so she could earn a little money so that we could have food on our plate. So it was it really gave me this sense of duty and this sense of purpose, I would like to say. And it was like since childhood I always had this mindset, like I have to do something so that my mom and my sister can retire. I have to do something financially so that I can provide and protect my mom and my sister, and my mother doesn't have to carry bricks anymore, so she can be happy, live happily. So I was around 10 years old, and these things used to run in my mind. And I was kind of obsessed with video games at the time, but I didn't have any resources to play video games. But at that age, I used to go in this rich church, kind of rich church, this kind of mega church here in Nepal. And I used to have rich friends. They used to talk about rich kid stuff, rich kid stuff. They used to talk about this video game is out. I was playing this game. This movie is out. This cartoon is out. They used to talk about all this stuff, and they used to talk about they bought this. Their school is taking them here. Their school is doing this. When I didn't have any of those things, and I studied in one of the most cheapest schools in Lalitpur. So I basically did not have any idea what they were talking about, but it sounded good, and I did not have that, right? And so I used to feel kind of self pity, and I used to feel kind of insecure listening them talk about these things. And it was kind of hard growing up, but somehow I was fortunate enough that I had a smartphone. It was like 1 GB RAM phone, like one GB RAM cheap Chinese phone that my mom's brother gifted it to me at the time. I was around 12, 13 years old. And then I was super obsessed with video games. So there I was, I had a phone, but I did not have internet. But I used to go to places where they had internet. So I used to go to my relative's house where they had internet, and I used to download, every single good game out there is out there. I basically finished all GTA games that's available on Android. I finished GTA Vice City, San Andreas, and there's this game named Bully Anniversary. I don't know if you guys have heard about that, but those games were good, and I used to play those games all the time. So I used to go to school, I used to come home, play those games. But one thing I was good at since that age was that my mom and my sister used to, go to jobs, and they were busy. They were not at home. I used to be alone in my house. So I used to do all of the house chores. I used to clean, I used to cook, I used to wash clothes since a very young age. So that kind of built this sense of discipline in me and this sense of hard work in me. And this sense of, I have to work hard, this sense of experience in hard work, I would like to say. And so I grew up this way, and then time went on. I used to go to school and go to school to come home, do some chores, play video games. So in this process I got super fat. I got fatter and fatter. I used to overeat. My health was messed up, my fitness was messed up. So I reached around class 8. I was around 15 years old at the time. And then me and my friends, like my friends used to work as waiters in party palaces. The special events that you can work in. Like somebody has a birthday party and you can work there as a waiter. So I had this opportunity there. So I worked as a worked in Party Palace as a waiter. I worked for from class 8 to class 10 nonstop. So I used to work as a waiter in Party Palace. Anytime I got the opportunity, I used to go to school. I used to do house chores. So I was kind of doing something here and there since very young age. And then I started playing this game called Free Fire. So I was in class. I think I started it since class 9, and I was one of those students who are super smart and super good in studies, but they are not that serious in studies. Right? I used to rank very good scores, but I was not serious. I was not dedicated in studies. I used to be like the backbencher with a good brain, basically. So I started playing Free Fire with my friends, and I was kind of good at it. I got really, really good at playing Free Fire. And then I had this best friend at the time, and he to this day he's still my best friend. And he was like my sidekick. We always used to hang around together. We used to sit together in class. Always used to be with me. And then we come up with an idea saying, why not we start, recording our gameplays and putting it on YouTube and getting some views and growing the channel and make money out of it and escape poverty out of it. And it was super dumb. But the thing was, we had the great idea at the time, great idea, but we did not have any resources. We didn't have a good phone to record the gameplay, and he had a basic laptop that lagged so much, and we could not bring that idea into fruition. So that idea got stuck, and after a few months, we were in around, I don't know, class 9, and I was around 16 at this point. And then my friend says to me that his sister is about to give him her old phone. So he said, why not you start playing Free Fire on that phone and start recording the gameplay on that phone, and we start putting the video on YouTube. And I was like, bingo, it's an amazing opportunity. I thought I will be this gaming YouTuber, this gamer who makes money playing video games. Like that is probably one of the most attractive things a 16-year-old can think of, right? So he gave so he got the phone and he gave the phone to me, and we and I used to play a lot of Free Fire on that. I trained hard in Free Fire. I was so good at that game. I wish I could show you guys. Right? It was like one of my life's work. I'm just joking. So we I got the phone, and then we started this YouTube channel, and we named it Deadly Force FF. So FF stands for Free Fire. And what I used to do was I used to record my gameplays, and I used to add the highlights in the best parts of the game. So I used to upload the best parts of the games with the headshots, with the good movements, all that stuff that's in the game. And then we worked on that YouTube channel, and I kind of finished my class 10. And during the holidays, uh, I joined multiple jobs. But the thing about jobs where they were super depressing. I never liked the idea of having a boss who is telling me to do this, do that. I did not like the idea of slavery, like staying under somebody. Since childhood, I don't know why, but I just did not like that idea. And then I joined some jobs, and as you know, I turned out to be depressed because of the job. Because I used to wake up, I was 17 at the time, early 17s. I used to wake up, go to job, walk to job, then take a rickshaw, then work all day long, get bullied in job because those guys used to bully me because I was in my 17s, and I was kind of fat. So, I don't know why, but people kind of pick up on fat people. So guys get fit in time. So, um, they used to kind of bully me. So I reached a point in my life where I thought my life was done because nothing seemed to work and my family was extremely poor. Seeing my mom carry bricks, family having financial issues, like almost every single middle class family has it here in Nepal. And I reached a point where I was kind of suicidal. I thought, honestly, I'm being open with you guys. I thought like death is better than this. Like if I died, it will be so peaceful. I didn't have to walk to job, do this, do that, to get bullied. So it was probably a dumb thought, but I reached a point of depression at that point, suicidal thoughts at that point. And I was extremely tired with life. I thought my life was over. Nothing seemed to work. I thought the only escape I had was to uh, keep working this job, finish my high school, and then get some loan out from some people, and then go to abroad and then work in abroad and give my life working in abroad, probably being a machine operator or whatever low quality job I could get there, and that will be the end of my life. But God had different plans for me. And then one day, the like life was going on. I was kind of depressed because of all this nonsense that was going on. But at that point of time, I kind of got exposed to self improvement content on YouTube. I kind of got exposed to Andrew Tate and all these guys out there who used to promote hard work and self accountability, and I got really really inspired from that. So I started training in my home, and I started reading my Bible, and I started reading books. I started learning, researching. So I kind of stopped playing video games, and I kind of started improving myself, improving my mind, improving my body. And I was still working on my YouTube, the gaming YouTube channel that I just discussed, and I still used to work on my job. I used to do everything, right? I was doing all things, and then one day my friend comes up saying, his sister wants the phone back, so we cannot continue with the gaming YouTube channel. So that was a backlash for me at the time. It was probably dumb, but that was a backlash because I gave like almost a year of my life working on that channel, posting videos every day, creating those videos, getting the clips, editing the videos, creating the thumbnails and getting the titles, descriptions, everything. And it was really, really frustrating. I took that channel to 375 subscribers, so I think that was kind of good. And some of the videos had thousands of views, so I was kind of happy with it, and I had high hopes with it, but it failed miserably because I couldn't continue it. All right. And then I got more miserable. I then my hopes were more low and my hopes were dimming more. And then one day my friend, he had a bike, and he says to me he does this thing called InDriver. So what InDriver basically is this is an app that allows riders to give rides to normal people, to give bike rides to normal people for a certain amount of money. So he says he does InDriver and he makes good money. I was in my I was still after it was after my 10th class. So I don't know, I was around I was in my early 17s, still in my early 17s. So he says to me, um, he does InDriver, he makes good money out of it. So I was like, why not I do that as well and I make money as well? So it's like God has blessed me with a really good friend in my life. Like he was a huge support for me. He used to support me in everything. He used to motivate me. He used to be there for me emotionally. He used to say we can do it, and he used to motivate me when I used to think like this is over, right? So he had his bike, so he taught me how to ride the bike and how I can ride the bike. And I started practicing bike, and then I somehow applied for license, and I trained so hard learning the bike, thinking that was my only escape. And I passed the bike's license trial at once. But the thing was, I didn't have money to pay the license bill, that the tax bill that you have to pay after you pass the license. But my friend was gracious enough, and I was blessed enough to have a friend like that, and he paid for the license bill at the time, and I got the license, and now I got the skill, I got the license. But the problem was I did not have the bike. So I didn't have money to buy the bike, nor did my family have the money to buy the bike. And then I kind of reached out to my relatives, asking them for help, asking them saying, I'm about to do this, please help me out on that. But on relatives, All of them said, "Ah, I don't have money." They give vague excuses. I don't want to backbite them. So they give vague excuses. So I was there again. Same scenario as when the phone got taken when I was running the YouTube gaming YouTube channel. I was kind of in the same scenario. And then I was kind of really hopeless again. I thought, how will I pull this off? I don't know. I don't know how do I get a bike? How do I get an in-driver account and start making money out of it? And then with God's grace, one a sister in my church, she's our pastor as well, and then she works in this organization that helps, gives loans to young entrepreneurs and in a certain interest rate, obviously. And she says, you can get loan here, this and that, and she gets accountable for me in that organization, and then I get half of the loan there. And then another sister that was close with my sister, she gives me half of the loan, and then my sister gives me all of her life savings. And then I had summed up around $500 in cash. So boom, there I was. I finally had the cash. I finally could buy a bike, and I could finally, start doing InDriver and making my big money till now. And then me and my buddy, we rushed into, getting the bike. We got into a secondhand bike store, a refurbished bike store. We went there, and then we got a bike named, and the model of the bike is iSmart Splendor, Hero iSmart Splendor. It was around 100 cc's. So we got the bike, and I was like not allowed to have an in-driver account because I was only 17 at the time. So I somehow managed to pull it off with my uncle's license. So I somehow pulled it off, and then I somehow managed to get the in-driver's account. And then I started doing in-driver, and I thought this was my escape. I used to skip college. I was in class 11 at this point, and I used to skip college. I used to, I was super focused on my work. I was super focused on InDriver. I thought this was my big break, right? And I still remember I used to go to InDriver, and then I thought I will make good money out of it. But the thing was, if I made $15 a day, um, almost, $12 will go into maintenance because my bike was so not so good. It was kind of old, secondhand, cheap, and it was kind of not good. And most of my money used to go on petrol, most of my money used to go on maintenance of the bike, and most of my money used to go on paying the debt, and then some of my money used to go for the family. And so it was really frustrating at this point because I thought this will be my big break, but this was not. This was just another form of slavery. So I used to work like 10, 12 hours. I used to ride my bike 10, 12 hours a day, taking roundups in all of Kathmandu, Lalitpur, Bhaktapur, but not making good money. So it was really frustrating at this point, but I did not complain. I did not give up. I kept on going because I had a debt on my shoulders. I could not risk not working. I could not risk being lazy, right? I kept going for months, and at this point, me and my family here in Nepal, what you can do is you can, get half of the flat. So if you have this apartment, half of the apartment a family can take, half another family can take. So we rented two rooms. We had two rooms, and on one room was kitchen, and in the kitchen, my mom and my dad used to live, and the other room, me, my sister, and my friend, my best friend, we used to live. So we used to live in these two rooms. So we had two rooms. Our lifestyle kind of upgraded. It was at least better. So then I kept doing InDriver, and remember my friend had this basic laptop, right? And he gives me the laptop, and he says, and he gives me the laptop, and we decided why not we do, start another channel with this laptop and make motivational videos, gather some motivational clips, and why not we pile it up and then start putting it out there. And this channel, I named it No More Week. I don't know why I come up with it, but I just named it No More Week. Sounded cool, right? And then we ran this YouTube channel. We kept running this YouTube channel, and it was not performing that well. And then all of a sudden, I had an idea. I also used to hear about, freelance graphic designers, video editors, this and that. And so I kind of I didn't have any clear idea about it, but I always used to hear about it. So it was kind of attractive to me, like the idea of freelancing, working from your home, like working from your bedroom. You don't have to have any boss around you. You don't have to have anything, anyone telling you what to do, how to do. You can be your own boss. So these ideas used to be so attractive to me, and I always wanted to be something like this. And then I had this idea, and I said this to my friend, my buddy. I told him, why not I start? I have basic video editing skills, I have basic graphic designing skills, and I have basic YouTube skills. So why not I start selling these skills online? So, and my friend says, yeah, well, go on, you can use my laptop. So now from then on, I was just super fast. I was I was working with speed. I was like in a hurry. I was like, the world is about to end, so I have to do something super super quick. So that same day I set up an Instagram page, and I was not even that familiar with Instagram at this point because I did not used to use a lot of Instagram. And then I set up a page and I named it Touch Media. I don't know why I named it. Probably because it sounded cool at the time, and I don't know, probably because it sounded deep. I don't know. I just named it Touch Media. And to this day, my domain, my company, it's named Touch Media. All right. So I named it Touch Media, and then I started that page, and then I researched how I can get clients, how I can get paid in this thing, and then research. Like I used to work as an in driver all day long, all morning long, skipping my college, and all night I used to research about it. I used to make notes. I used to, find ways to make it in this field. So I started DMing people, and I was kind of lucky at that point because I don't know if I was kind of smart. I don't know. But I did not target, this huge niches where there is so much competition. I targeted this untapped niche. I targeted this niche of chiropractors. I started DMing chiropractors at that time. I DM'd hundreds and hundreds of chiropractors. It's been almost a month, and there's no results. I've been trying, but there's no results at all. No one's replying to my DMs. It's like nobody knows I exist. And then, but someday, one after a few weeks, almost a month, a chiropractor replies to me and he says, let's try. He says, let's try. So we tried it out, and I gave him my editing services for a week for absolutely free. I did not charge him any penny, and I don't even care about free work at the time because I just wanted to work hard. I just wanted to find a way out of this poverty and out of this cycle that I was in, out of this in driver cycle I was in. And then he really really liked my work because I was super dedicated at it. I was super focused. I was super hardworking. I was super dedicated, and I gave my best. And for a week, I worked for free, which was hard to do because it was a lot of work, but I worked for free. And then he liked my work, and then we come up in a meeting, and then in the meeting, then we have a deal of, imagine this. I was making $10 to $15 a day, and from $10 to $15 a day, I I land a deal of making $1,500 a month. So imagine the amount of happiness a 17-year-old will get after all this hard work, all this, bruises of here and there, tons of free work. I'm finally getting the fruit of my labor at this point. So I landed that deal, and I was extremely happy. I shared this with my family. They were extremely happy. I was excited to see what we can do. I was excited how money looked like, felt like. I was excited to see how it's like to have, thousands of dollars in your bank account. So I went from being absolutely broke to within a month I had like $1,000 in my bank account after expenses saved up. So that was probably one of the happiest moments that I ever had in my entire life. Like I will never forget the feeling that I had. Now even having, multiple thousands, five figures in my bank account doesn't bring that happiness, that level of happiness. So and then after that, the first thing I did after I got the fruit of my labor, I retired my mother. And we shifted to a better apartment, a complete flat, a complete apartment. And I continued my, and then I turned myself from freelancer to an agency owner, and I turned Touch Media from a random page to a solid business right now, very solid business. And currently I'm working with millionaires from the US, and I'll probably bring interviews with them so that you guys can take their wisdom as well. And so yeah, that's how I boomed. Like my life completely turned around in within the matter of some months, because I did not give up, because I did not take days off, because I did not got lazy, I did not, hop from one thing to another, jumping. I didn't do that, right? So that's how I went from being absolutely broke to being a, waiter in party palaces, because I worked in multiple party palaces, to being a job worker, depressing job worker, low quality labor, to being an in driver, and to being an freelancer, and to being an agency owner at this point. And I'm completely focused at taking my agency to six figures, and my team, we're absolutely focused on that. We are locked in, and we'll reach six figures very soon. I have full faith in myself and God. So yeah, this was my story, and the point of me making this long video is not to flex my success, not to show that I'm big and you guys are small. It's I don't have any intentions of that, and I don't even like flexing my success, flexing I have this, that. I don't like doing it in a flexing way, but I like doing it in an inspiring way. The point of me making this video is that if you guys are watching this video till here, I want you guys to be inspired from this video. I want you guys to know that it is possible. If you actually try, if you give your 100% all of the times, if you never quit, if you never take days off, if you give your 100%, it is impossible to fail. If I could do it, coming from a family where my mom used to carry bricks, coming from a family where I did not have money to buy school shoes. I don't even have money to buy school dresses. I kind of like, I forgot it till this point, but I used to wear the same school dress. Wore the same school dress throughout my school. I never changed school dress because I didn't have money to afford a school dress. So if I could do it coming from this background, why can't you do it? Right? If I did not, it was not like I had this supernatural skills. I had somebody teaching me all of these things, somebody holding my hand and taking me through this. I didn't have any of those things. The only thing that I had was endless fire, endless grit, endless desire to achieve what I want, endless desire to retire my mom, endless desire to protect and provide for my family since a very young age. And I worked on it, and I researched on it. I found ways. I thought of ideas. I constantly improved myself, and to this day, I constantly improve myself. It's not like I've reached the top of the mountain, because you will never reach the top of the mountain, no matter how top, however, whatever big mountain you climb. There is always bigger mountain that you have to climb. Right? This is life. And if I could do it with pure grit and hard work and dedication and this fire inside of me and no resources, then why can't you do it? You probably are might be in a better situation than I am. You probably might have a high paying job. You probably might have a good family where your dad can provide you, where your mom can provide you, where you don't have to worry about what you're going to eat tomorrow, right? So yeah, I hope you guys got inspired from this video. This was my first ever long video, and English is not my first language. It's my second tongue. I don't know what it's called, but it's my second tongue, and I'm working on it, and I'm hopefully getting better at it. So yeah, I hope you guys got inspired from this video, and I hope you guys will start taking action if you have not started yet. And I hope that I see you guys winning. I see you guys achieving your goals, achieving your dreams, achieving your plans. And yeah, guys, and I'm gonna come up with more and more content in the future. I'm gonna be interviewing my clients, some of the people that I learn a lot from. I want you guys to get the knowledge that I get. I want you guys to get the wisdom that I get. So yeah, we have a long journey in YouTube. I guess this is our first video. This is our initiation. This is our ignition that has happened from today. So yeah, guys, thank you very much. If you're watching this video till here, God bless you all. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you guys in the next video.